Welcome to Easy Maths Lessons. In this video, I am going to explain about fraction. First, let us understand what is fraction. Fraction represents part of a whole. Let us take some examples and learn about fraction. Assume that you have 2 chocolates with you and you want to share it equally with your sister. So what you can do is you can give 1 chocolate to your sister and you can take 1 chocolate. Now what happens if you have only 1 chocolate with you? In this case, you have to cut the chocolate into 2 equal parts and you can give 1 part to your sister and you can take 1 part. Now how can you represent the piece of chocolate which you have got? You have got 1 piece of chocolate out of 2 pieces. So you can represent this piece as 1 by 2. This 2 represents the total number of pieces and the 1 represents the piece of chocolate you have. Now how can you represent the piece of chocolate which your sister have got? So this can also be represented as 1 by 2. In this case, 2 is the total number of pieces the chocolate is cut into and 1 is the number of pieces your sister have got. Now, take the example of a pizza. Assume that you want to share this pizza equally with your friend. So, you have cut the pizza into 2 pieces and gave 1 piece to your friend and you take 1 piece. Now, how can you represent the piece of pizza which your friend have got? So, this can be represented as 1 by 2. The bottom part represents the number of pieces and the top part represents the number of pieces your friend have got. So, the number of pieces your friend have got is 1 and the total number of pieces are 2. Now, how can you represent the number of pieces you have got? So, that can be represented as 1 by 2. Here, 2 is the total number of pieces and 1 is the number of pieces you have got. Now, assume that you have 1 pizza and you want to share it between 4 of you. So, you have cut the pizza into 4 pieces and gave to 4 of your friends. Now, how can you represent this piece of pizza? So, there are total 4 pieces and this is 1 piece. So, it can be represented as 1 by 4. Now, how can you represent this piece? This piece can be represented as 1 by 4 because there are total 4 pieces that should be written in the bottom part and this is 1 part. So, 1 should be written in the top part. This is the concept of fractions. Now, let's take an example 1 by 4. So, the bottom part is known as denominator. The top part is known as numerator. So, that means a fraction can be represented with the help of 2 numbers and the top number is known as numerator and the bottom number is known as denominator. Now, let's understand fraction with the help of some shapes. Here, I have a square and I have divided the square into 4 equal parts. And I am shading 1 part of the square. Now, how can you represent the shaded part of the square? So, the shaded part can be represented as 1 by 4 because there are total 4 parts and out of the 4 parts, one part is shaded. So the numerator is 1 and the denominator is 4. Now, how can you represent the parts which are not shaded? So the parts which are not shaded can be represented as 3 by 4 because there are total 4 parts. That can be the denominator and the numerator should be the number of parts which are not shaded. In this case, there are 3 parts which are not shaded. Now, consider the example of a circle. I am dividing the circle equally into 3 parts and I am coloring 2 parts. Now, how can I indicate the shaded parts of the circle? So, the shaded parts of the circle can be indicated as 2 by 3. In this case, there are total 3 parts and out of the 3 parts, 2 parts are shaded. So, the shaded parts can be represented as 2 by 3. Here 2 is the numerator and 3 is the denominator. Now, how can you represent the part which is not shaded? So, the part which is not shaded can be represented as 1 by 3. In the bottom part, which is the denominator, we have to write the total number of parts, and in the top part, which is known as numerator, is the number of parts which is not shaded. In this case, there are total of 3 parts and the parts which are not shaded is 1. So, the parts which are not shaded in the circle can be represented as 1 by 3. This is the concept of fractions. So, to conclude, we can say that fraction represent parts of a whole. And we can represent a fraction as numerator by denominator. I hope you have understood the concept of fraction. If you find the video helpful, you can like the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you for watching.